Hi guys, I've been getting asked a lot of questions about V-Light, specifically about the application, who would be ideal for it, how long it lasts, removal, all the things. So I just really wanted to make a video where we can get really into it, into the application, and as I go through it with my mannequin head, I can answer any questions that you guys might have. Alright, so I've prepped my mannequin head. I think what's really important with V-Light is you have to make sure that you're clarifying your model or your client before you install those V-Light extensions. Anything that's an adhesive based method, you want to make sure that you've got a really nice clean canvas. So what I'll always do is I'll clarify my client, I'll blow dry their hair smooth and straight, and I'll even go over it with a flat iron. Another thing that I always do is I will flat iron those extensions as well. Anything I can do to make the application as seamless as possible, I'll take the extra steps, and this is all prep work, so it's something that you can do before they come in, or you can have your assistant do it. So I've got my flat iron. I'm using the GHD original. I really like GHD, they're such a good flat iron. And then I'm just going in and just smoothing out that extension to make sure that it's nice and straight, because essentially you want it to be straight and smooth, otherwise it's going to be really difficult to lie that flat on top of that client's hair. Another thing you can see is I've prepped my mannequin head by doing the same thing, just going over it with my straightener, straightening everything out. With our V-Light extensions, I always say that they're more like a filler or an add-on service. It's not something that I would do a full head of, because they are designed to shed. They're exactly like how the comb line is, they're designed to shed. Same thing with your V-Light. That's why I don't do it as a full head. What I do is, for example, my mannequin head, she's got a weft and some K-tips. And then what I'll do now is, in the areas where I can't reach with a weft or K-tips safely, maybe the hair is too fine or fragile, maybe that extension is going to show in that area, that's where I'm going to go in and do that V-Light extension. So typically it's going to be in the bang area, it will be through the hairline, maybe even in the crown or in the nape. Those are the areas that I find I'm filling the most with V-Light, and it's the bare minimum. It's going to be a few of those bonds here and there, but that will make such a huge difference, and it's totally safe because, like I was saying, they are designed to shed. So I'm going to just section off my mannequin. Where I want it is in the bang. What we're going to do is we'll add like a little pop of colour as well. So this is a great way to do like a chemical free highlight. So I'm just going to go in and just section off where I want those V-Light extensions, making sure that I'm working with really nice clean part lines, and then I'm just going to go in and pin that out of the way, and if I need to I can just clean up that section. So I'm just actually going to go in and just really smooth out that area with my straightener, making sure that it's super smooth and straight. The cleaner your canvas, the cleaner that install is going to be. So for my first section, I am going to drop down and then just pick up a sliver of hair. For your V-Light application, it really is that fine, super fine. It's just a sliver, making sure that I get rid of any little crosshairs, and that is all I want. And then now I'm going to go in with my shield. So this shield is actually from Queen Hair Co, and a lot of you have been asking about where I get my V-Light kit, and I actually get it through her. So it's Queen Hair Co, and if you want, I do have a code. It is XAM20. So if you enter that at the checkout, you save $20 on your V-Light kit. So I put my shield in place. I'm going to just take my clip and I'm going to just secure that down where I want it. I actually like to do 2 clips to make sure that it's nice and secure, and making sure that it's not causing any sort of elevation. Clean that up. And then now I'm going to take my hair extension. So with your V-Light, that is going to be too much weight. V-Light, it's the least hair possible. So I'm actually probably going to only need about half of this. This is a keratin, so I'm only going to need about half of it. And even then, some of the hair might shed out after I've cured it, which is absolutely fine. I think less is more. Whenever we're working with our V-Light hair extensions, less is always more. And then what I'll do is I'm just making sure everything is nice and straight, and then I'm just fanning out that hair, and then I will just pick up this hair here, and then I'll place it on top. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to go in with my little comb, and I'll just comb everything so it just kind of like meshes together. And then now I can take my adhesive, and I'm just going to drop a few drops of that adhesive on. You don't need a ton. And then now I'm just going to take that comb once more and then just comb that in. And then with this side, I'm just going to gently brush it. And then now I can take my V-Light and just cure that extension. So I actually do it for about, I think, a minute total. This is a timed machine for 30 seconds. So I like to do it twice. So it's cured, and then I'm just going to do it once more, making sure it's really, really nice and cured. I love this shield because it's going to protect the scalp from that V-Light, which is fantastic. I know a lot of people ask questions about that, and that's exactly why I use this shield. So it's all nice and cured, and then I'm just going to go in, remove my shield, and then I will just gently slide that out. And then if I want, I can just begin to gently fan out that extension if I need to. But that's it. It's really, really easy, so simple, and it gives such a beautiful, seamless effect. People always ask me about brushing the extensions. How do you brush them? So I always recommend a brush like this. So you can see the bristles are straight all the way up. They don't have any balls at the end. You want to avoid brushes that have the balls on the end, like a wet brush, because they can actually snag the extensions at the base of the hair. So with a brush like this, it's safe to use from the base all the way down. And what I recommend is actually detangling the ends first. So you're going to detangle the ends, work your way up to the mids, and then you can begin to brush the top. It's important that we detangle here first, because you don't want to brush down and snag on a knot, and then it's going to pull on that extension. So it's really important that we are detangling and then brushing from that base. And this brush is one of my favorites. Again, it's from Queen Hair Co. I really love her products. She's a hairstylist. She does hair extensions. So I think she really knows what she's doing when it comes to hair extension products. They're tried and true. So this is actually one of her brushes. Another thing I always get asked about answering your questions is these. So these are what I use for the V-Light. This is just a brow and lash brush, and it is from Amazon. And then this is the same thing. So this is actually an edge brush, but I use it because I like the fact that it has the pin at the end, which is really good for sectioning or to smooth that adhesive onto your hair. And this also I will share. It's on my Amazon storefront, and I'm just going to link it all down below. Okay, let's do another one. So whenever we are thinking of our placement for the next one, I don't want to place it directly next to it. I do want to leave a little bit of a gap in between. The reason that I do that is because then on top I can do more of that bricklay pattern, and then that way as they begin to shed out, you fill them in as a bricklay as well. They grow out really seamlessly that way too. So again, leaving just like a slither of hair in between the two, and then I'm going to pick up my second section. Less is more whenever we're thinking of sectioning, and then I'm just going to slide in my shield, and then I will just pin that into place with my clips. So once that's all pinned down and secure, now I'm going to pick up my extension. I'm just going to trim off the top, making sure everything is nice and straight, and then I'll just fan out that extension before picking up my section I'm putting that directly on top. Slide it down to meet the line here. And then now I'm just going to go in with my adhesive, squeezing that on, making sure that I'm saturating it all the way through. And then I'm going to go in and just comb that into the hair and then just brush it up. Then I can take my V-light and just cure that bond. So I'm just holding it close. You don't want to hold it too close, otherwise you will see smoke. So if you're holding that light too close, you're going to see smoke. Also, if you've gone a little bit too heavy-handed with the adhesive, that can also cause smoke. So you have to be mindful not to oversaturate and to keep the light at a distance. So there we have it, that's all nice and cured. And then I'll just remove my clips and then my shield. And now I'm going to pick up another section. I'm just going to keep working through where I want to create some coverage with those extensions. With my shield, go in. And you can see that once you kind of get into the rhythm of applying these extensions, they are really quick to apply. And like what I was saying, less is going to be more when it comes to your V-light. And then now I'm going to pick up another strand of hair. And this section is a little bit thinner. So because of that, I'm going to take a little bit less hair than what I did before. You want to make sure that your density matching as best as possible. So by that I mean that if you have a finer amount of hair here, you want to make sure that your extension hair is also a finer amount too. You never want to go in with too much weight, because then that way you're defeating the whole point of having these really lightweight extensions. So just brushing that in, and then I'll go in with my glue. And then now with my comb, just brushing that in, and then with the end of it, just again smoothing it down, and then now with my V-light just curing that extension. So that's it. You can see now we're starting to get really nice pops of colour and creating a little bit of coverage at the same time, but you can see how small and lightweight those V-light bonds are. So now remember I was talking about that brick-laid pattern placement. I'm going to show you what that means. So you can see here we've got little gaps in between those bonds. So now what I do is when I'm sectioning off this section, it means that my next bonds on this row are going to go here and here, because then I can begin to create more coverage. I'm just going to go in and smooth this out just where I've pinned it up. So I want to make sure it's nice and smooth, so I'll just go in with my flat iron and just smooth that. And then now what I'm going to do is I will begin to pick up my next section, making sure that it's filling that gap there. Take my shield and then just clip this into place. And then now I can take my hair extension and then just cut off what I need from that extension, which again, remember, less is always more when we're working with V-light. And then I'm just gonna fan that out, and then I'll just place it directly on top. Now I will just comb that hair in. so that it integrates and meshes with the natural hair. Take my V-Light adhesive and then just do a few drops of that and work it into the hair. Now I'm going to take my comb it through, and my brush. I'm working really gently, I'm not applying too much pressure. I want to make sure that, yes, the adhesive is saturated, but also that I'm not being too heavy-handed and inadvertently removing the adhesive with that brush. All I'm doing is just gently working it into the hair to make sure that it's fully saturated. And then I'm just curing it now with my V-Light. I always do it twice, just to make sure it's really nice and set. And then remove the clips and remove my shield. And there you can see now we're starting to get great coverage, because now I've filled in that disconnect where we have that gap in between our rows. That's gorgeous. Really nice coverage with the bare minimum. Okay, so let me show you how to do a removal of the V-Light hair extensions, because I know you all want to know, and this wouldn't be a full tutorial on V-Light if I didn't show you the removal. So let's get into it. What I'm actually going to use is this. This is from Bellamy Professional, and this is their extension release. This is a alcohol-based remover, and I find that specifically on the V-Light adhesive, this alcohol-based remover is what is going to work the best. So I'm using this, and then I'm also using these, which are from Amazon. I have linked them down below in my storefront. And why I love these pliers specifically is because they are smooth. They don't have grooves, so it's not going to break or damage the hair during the removal. So easy peasy. All I'm going to do is just pick up that extension, go in with my alcohol-based remover and just really saturate it on top and underneath. And then now I'm just going to pick up my pliers and I'm just going to gently go in to release that extension from the natural hair. So you can see that it's sliding out really easy. I'm not taking any of the natural hair with it, and it's just sliding out exactly what I want it to do. And then again, just going in. If I feel like it's not coming as easily, then I might just want to saturate it a little bit more with my remover, and then again just go in with my pliers. And then I'm just going to pinch the end of the extension, the top of the natural hair, and then just slide that down. It's so easy to remove. And then once I've done that, I can just go in with a comb and just make sure I'm getting rid of any of that adhesive. So you can see there's a little bit of adhesive left in the hair, so I'm just going to gently slide that out with my comb. Nice and easy. So now I'll come to my second one. Same thing. We're just going to go in with our alcohol-based remover, saturate that on top, underneath, and then I'll take my pliers and I'm just going to gently press that. Pinch the end of the extension. If it's not coming out, I'm not going to pull, I'm not going to tug. That's where you're going to have damage. I think with extensions, a lot of the damage can occur actually with incorrect removal. So you always want to make sure that you're not pulling or snagging on the natural hair. If I feel like it's not coming out, I'll just resaturate it again. And then go in with my pliers and really make sure that I'm breaking everything down. Just gently comb out any of that adhesive that is still in the hair. making sure that I'm not pulling or tugging on the natural hair. And then there was just like a little bit there that I missed. So I'll just go in with my pliers one more time and then just gently break that down. And then just gently slide that out. Super easy. So let's kind of sit and talk for a little bit and answer some of your questions that I've been noticing under my videos. One of the main questions that I get asked is, how long does V-Light last? So with V-Light hair extensions, I would say expect them to last anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. And then when that client comes in for an infill, much like an eyelash extension, expect to see, you know, around 50% of those bonds still remaining in the hair. Any less than that, and then probably you need to go back and look at your application. But I do find that most people have about 50% left in their hair, and then what I do at that 4 to 6 week mark is just go in and infill those extensions. Whenever I think of them, it's much like a eyelash extension where you're offering those infill services. So that ties in really nicely to your maintenance at home and how you can look after them at home. So I always say that once they've been applied, wait about 24 to 48 hours before you get your hair wet, before you sweat, work out, etc. And then after that, you can treat them as normal. When you're washing them, use any sort of shampoo or conditioner that isn't oil-based. You want to use things that are moisturized and hydrating, but stay away from oils and alcohols at that point of attachment. As you saw, I demonstrated how to do a removal. My preference is to use an alcohol-based remover and then to just gently remove them from the hair with pliers that are smooth. So I have linked those pliers down below in my Amazon storefront. My preference is smooth pliers. Try and avoid any pliers that have grooves in them, because remember, on that really fine and fragile hair, especially blondes, those pliers that have grooves can actually break and damage the hair. So make sure that you're opting for a smooth plier when you're doing your removal. So another question is about, if you are an active lifestyle person, can you swim with them? Yes. Can you sweat, work out with them in? Yes. All of these things are totally possible, just like with any other method. But remember, if you are someone that works out a lot, washes their hair a lot, and are quite rough on your hair, then expect that lifespan of the extension to be a little bit shorter. And I would say come in for fills more frequently. I also had a question asking if this is good for thin hair or fine hair. Yes. This method was specifically designed for hair that is finer or fragile, because it's designed to pick up where other methods drop off. And by that I mean, maybe with a weft or a K-tip you can't work extremely close to the hairline because that hair is too fragile, or maybe you'll be able to see that extension. That's where you would introduce that V-Light hair extension. How much does it cost? We all want to know. Okay, it's so hard to talk about pricing without seeing someone's hair first. The way that I charge for V-Light is per area. So on average, per area, it's going to be around $300. So per area means crown, sides, nape. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Another way that you can do it is price it per bond as well, but it all depends on the client. And for V-Light specifically, we're not really charging as much for the hair itself. It's more so the labor and the time and the speciality that goes into those V-Light hair extensions. Finally, I tried as much as possible every time that I used the tool to link it down below or to let you know where it was from. Most of my things that you saw me working with today is going to be in my Amazon storefront. The QR code is down below, and if there's anything that you've seen in my previous videos, I've also tried to link as much as possible in there for you guys as well, so you can shop some of my favorites. The V-Light kit was from Queen Hair Co, and like I said, I have linked that before in the video. I will link it in the description, and you can use my code SAM20 to get a discount on that V-Light kit. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you press notifications on so that you can stay up to date with all my latest content. Thank you guys. See you in the next one.